Y'all got my glasses on. No,
I need
y'all
to
look so
take a
studious.
screenshot of us sitting here in our.
It's the cool kids, the VIP.
Yeah, smart people in the room. Yeah. Jared, just take us through the next couple of minutes. I'm going to check with Holly. I'm going to check that she has a link.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, listen, y'all are in the right place at the right time, especially with proper eyewear going on. Everybody in here is a little uniquely special, better than a little other people. We just have some things to magnify and amplify how we perceive things. We got a better vision. Don't you think that that session that we just had was a fire session? I know, Christy, you got in there a little late, but even with the information you were able to get, like, don't y'all feel like, oh my goodness, if I don't, do you ever, I mean, maybe it's just me, but there are things that I heard, I was like, man, I wish I'd have been told this back when I was like 12, or maybe even just grew up knowing it and learning it as a child. I wish my parents knew this. I wish my late father would have known all of this before he passed. I wish my great grandfather would have known all of this. I wish so many different people knew all of this, but then it's like, you know what? Hold on. I got three kids. They're 3, 5, and 8. So I get to teach them this. I get to tell them their options, making people aware of their options. That way they can take advantage of their opportunities. And the opportunities that we have right before us are to literally get so intentional about our health that it starts impacting and affecting our wealth. Your health is your wealth because there's no point of having if you can't use. So to know that we are in a proposition, well, I'm not going to say proposition, but we have an opportunity to avoid the opposition of conditions that we don't have to yield to. We can literally be so intentional about our lives in such a way based off of the information she's providing us. It's like, man, let's go. I'm really looking forward to day 4 because I want more on day 4 and we're only on day 2.
Yes. Yes, Jared. Yeah, nicely said. And yeah, so we're guys, finished the session number 2, right? So and who just knew something that you never heard of? Is anyone here that heard something that you never heard of? Or is it something that you heard of? Maybe you just, didn't know in full detail. So let's just, have a conversation, guys. Unmute yourself. I mean, let's have a conversation. It's your time. It's your time. We have like 5 people here in the VIP room. Yeah, go ahead, Chrissy Crew.
I admit, before I started, focusing on getting pregnant, being on a fertility, I didn't know all this stuff. So I guess a lot of women, it's been in the last 10 years or so, younger people have become more aware. Is the perfume in your stuff? What are you doing? But a lot of the things about inflammatory and toxins in general, many people don't know about it. So because I've been on a fertility focus, I've been doing some tests and I've learned so many things that many more, especially women, should know about because it affects our body.
Mhm.
So it is so essential what you're talking about, Angelina.
Absolutely, yes. What you just touched on is the perfume, right? So perfume, and we all love using perfume, right? So before I started to learn about the solar house, I mean, I had the full house, all these different perfumes, right? But then I started to read about that and research in that, and like a coach with doctors. So, um, and yeah, and then I found out about the bad stuff, the toxins, right? So they're being infused by smelling the perfumes, right? And they create the cellular inflammation. So yeah, so that's
Yeah, and then one added thing is also about we're all spending a lot of time in wireless communication, wireless areas. So our bodies are actually getting a lot of people having laptop on their knees. That's not good for our body either. So that is the technical inflammation that affects us as well.
yeah. How many of you guys have cell phones near your beds when you sleep at night?
Not anymore.
I know you. I mean, I mean, you just fascinate me, the stuff that you know, Christy Cruz, because yes, I mean, the people who go through all this fertility stuff, they start learning about the things because it's really changes the trajectory, of them being, possible to get pregnant. The same thing is we're going through the menopause, and the thing that we need to know when we balance our hormones the same way. Same way. I mean, we're using the same strategies. Because guys, again, I mean, it's not what I just want to reemphasize one thing again, which is very important. It's not about creating more hormones. It's about basically healing ourselves so we can pass these hormones and nutrients and all the good stuff and the oxygen inside of the cells, right? And when the cell is inflamed, so and damaged, by the outside or the outer of the cell, which is called mitochondria. This is why we get the cellular inflammation. Right. So again, I mean, it all goes down to the healing the cells, from the inside, healing the mitochondria. Okay. I wanted to do with you guys, and again, this is your time. This is your time to ask questions and to bring the topics that you want to uncover more, because we're going just deep into the uncovering those steps in the VIP sessions. But I just, is it okay if we're gonna look at our homework together? So I just want to make sure that you guys, moving forward, with the challenge. So yesterday, what we uncovered in the VIP session, we created those, what we did yesterday, we uncovered what's important in your life and your health and wellness, right? So we uncovered 3 things. And by the way, have you guys did that? So did you uncover, did you have this? The 3 things, what is important in your health and wellness. Let's just make sure that you've got it, because I mean, that was day 1. Yeah. Do you guys all know what are the 3 things that are important in your health and wellness?
I don't know because I skipped yesterday's meeting.
Oh, okay. Hey, Roxana. Okay.
Hey.
All right. No worries. No worries. So yesterday we talked about uncovering 3 things which is important in your health and wellness. If you have like a weight loss goal, maybe, or there is another challenge, there's another issue in your health that you want to tackle. So you prioritize. So you basically you prioritize those 3 things in the dimension of health and wellness, right? It could be, your mental health, whatever is that for you. Okay. This is what we're doing. Then we prioritize it, from 1 to 3. So what is the most important? Then the second thing, what we did, we created the plan. So we actually fix our eyes on the outcome. So like, what is that we want to achieve? So we created the goals. So what are the 3 goals that you can, or 1 or 2 or 3 goals that you can put for yourself in order to like get a hold of this priority that you just identified for yourself. Okay. So you create these 3 goals, or 1 to 3 goals. And then you were supposed to come up, what are the 3 things? What are the 3 things that you can start doing today to get a hold of this goal? And again, as you go through the challenge, you're going to learn more and more stuff, right? But we're going to start small. And we talked about yesterday about the power of building the small habits, right? So, and how you're going to start taking the small steps so you can, build what you need, because we cannot accomplish everything in one time. If I'm going to give you guys, okay, this is a strategy, go do that. Okay. You're never going to do that. So you need to start small. You need to start actually. And also what we did, Roxana, we built our identity. And what it means, identity, your health and identity. It's about looking forward to the person that you want to become, that you want to be, and we embodied that person. And that person was, I am the healthiest and vital thriver. I'm committed to be the healthiest and vital thriver. And for every person, it could be different, but this is something that we're encompassing through this challenge, right? Creating this vision of being the most vibrant, most energetic, most healthiest person, okay, that are thriving in our life. So that's the identity that we get created. And again, I mean, you guys can create your own identity. So this is what we did yesterday. Okay, this is what we did yesterday. And I gave you guys a couple of tips in the VIP session. So we said that today, and that means that tomorrow you're going to repeat that. Tomorrow you're going to repeat that. So we built this affirmation, and the affirmation, who remember the affirmation? What was the affirmation that we built yesterday? Who remembers that? Anyone? I am. Jared, do you want to help us?
I think Christy Cruz is in there. She said, I am confident, amazing. How about healthy? Vibrant.
Vibrant. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the affirmation that you are created. I am confident, amazing, vital, healthy, whatever is that for you. And we said that when we are in a moment of despair, when we have no motivation to move forward, so what we're going to do is we're going to start we're going to start changing our physical state. So like if you feel down, if you don't have energy, or maybe you just sat down in a meeting for 60 minutes and everyone was just, like, I'm not talking about our party. I'm talking maybe about your corporate meeting and you're just, man, what are the things that people are talking about? I'm so bored here, right? So, I mean, I just want to sleep. If I knew that, guys, I mean, I would do that. I'm doing this with my clients in the session. So what are we doing? We're changing our physical state to elevate our energy. And how we can do that? We can do it in a different way. You can start moving. You can just, jumping. Jared, put for us some elevating music. Can you do that? Can we have some elevating
Absolutely.
music
You
in
want
the
some
house?
elevating or you want some
No,
just smooth music?
elevating music in the house. Let's elevate our
I don't know if y'all ready for this one.
energy right now, okay? Because we're changing our physical state, or like uplifting. It could be uplifting. All right. So, and when you guys do that, so you can do the breathing exercise, and the breathing exercise is very simple, okay? What you can do is you can just start lifting your arms up. And when you lift your arms up, you can breathe and then you can quickly breathe out. Okay, so it's called energetic shower. So let's do it. Let's try it for 10 times. So we're going to do inhale, exhale very quickly. Let's go. Put your arms on your knees. How are you guys feeling? Do you feel that you start generating energy vibration inside of your body? Do you feel that? We're changing our physical state. We're elevating our energy by, like moving. The same thing you can do by dancing, by running, whatever is that. This is the most easiest thing, and I do it every single morning. And also, so when you feel in that moment of despair, I mean, the first thing, you change your physical state. You change your physical state by uplifting music and just do this, right? So breathe. And then you're going to say your affirmation, what you put for yourself, like how you are the most confident, vibrant, and healthy person. And you're going to believe it and you're going to embody that and you're going to own it because you feel that you are the healthiest person. And that's what will keep you going forward. Okay. So if you're stuck, if you're not motivated, so that's the step that you're going to take. That's the step that you're going to take. This is what you did. And this morning, guys, you were supposed to do that. So that was the day one. So you were supposed to wake up in the morning, start elevating your energy with making some physical movement for 5 minutes. And then taking yourself through the gratitude, because remember what gratitude does. What gratitude does. When you start to focus on the small things in your life, big things, the small things that really were amazing, that were good in your life. So you are creating the positivity. So you see that your life is full of those amazing moments. So even if you feel bad, the gratitude practice every single day, that gives you hope. But my life is really amazing. And maybe when you start using this for the first time, you're going to remember just only the big things. But then you're going to start bring the memories, the reflections from the small moments of your life that were so amazing. And you were just drilled down to that. Oh my gosh. And you start remember more and more things. The more as you practice, the more as you start bringing those gratitude moments. And if you're someone who believes, whatever God you believe, but when you start to understand that we're a creation of God and we start to bring gratitude, to the God who created us, I mean, that's a whole dimension that, you know, opens up for us. So again, I mean, like focusing on gratitude. So as we go through the challenge, I encourage you guys to wake up every single morning, to change your state, to uplift your energy, to practice gratitude, to be thankful for the things that you have in your life. And maybe send a message to your friend and say, hey, you're so awesome. I appreciate you. Maybe you send a message to your husband and say, hey, honey, love you. I was thinking about you today. I'm sending you positive thoughts, positive energy. You know, the other person starts to be moved and shifted. This is how it works. That's the power of gratitude. It's so powerful. So this is what we covered in day 1. So today I wanna continue, you know, our kind of daily practice. So what is really important, because today was a full day talking about health, about how we're gonna fix ourselves, right? And tomorrow I'm gonna give you, you know, the strategies. But you guys being in this session today, an attitude of, this is golden, Jared. An attitude of gratitude will determine your action. All right. Yes. So you remember, guys, how many of you guys did the quiz today? Jared, can we stop the music right now? Because I want to. Thank you. Did you all guys did the quiz today? Yeah. Okay, maybe some people missed the session today, so let me do that. And this is, by the way, this is in your homework. So I'm gonna drop for you. This is your VIP workbook. I'm drop it for you here, so you guys have it handy. It was in your communication, in your emails, and that's gonna be in day 2. So if you open it up and you scroll down to day 2, you're gonna see the concept that we covered today, right? So that cell can provide support and structure. So it was all about, so today's session was about cells, right? So I gave you guys a lot of biology, right? You know, like a class grade 1, grade 2 of, you know, like a basic biology in the medical school. So that was what was that about in very simple terms. And we talked about the cellular health. We talked about how the cell can regenerate itself, how they can regenerate our body, how the cell are part of our, you know, brain and gut, and what's important, right? And then I gave you guys the quiz, okay? The quiz, because this quiz is kind of very simple test that gives you the level that shows you if you have a cellular inflammation, because as we did the class today, you guys heard that cellular inflammation is the main reason for not feeling well, right? So for not feeling well. So on page 3 of the day 2 homework, there is a quiz. And again, I mean, I'm just going to walk you guys through this again, because that's important for what we're going to uncover next. So again, I mean, use the chat right now, and let's do this again. So I'm going to ask you the question. You're going to answer yes or no. So number 1, do you have stress in your life? Put yes or no in the chat. Put yes or no. Put number 1 and yes. Number 2, put number 2, yes and no. Do you struggle to fall asleep and stay asleep? Say number 2, yes or no. Number 3, do you eat foods you know aren't good for you? Number 3, yes or no. Even if you eat them sometimes, it still counts. All right. Do you crave sugary foods or carbs throughout the day? Yes or no? Okay, that was number 4. Number 5. Have you been exposed to toxic chemicals like cleaning products, beauty products, food, water? I mean, again, I mean, if you know how to detect the toxic products, you're fine and you excluded that. But if you're not, it means that yes. Okay. Have you been exposed? Okay. Do you have amalgam in your dental work? Yes or no? Do you go through the weight loss resistance? Or maybe you are unable to lose weight? Okay. So basically, oh, Chrissy Cruz, let's go. Love it. She just summarized it. Okay. So basically, guys, I mean, again, I mean, there is a more scientific test that we're going to uncover in day 4 when doctor is going to join us, and she's going to cover that from the medical perspective, how you can detect the level of the cellular inflammation. But if you answered at least one yes to all of this question, to at least one of this question, that means that you have cellular inflammation. Okay, now I don't want you to be, too much worried, because again, I mean, this is the whole reason of having this challenge, is to understand it, just to be aware. I mean, this is something that I have, but I can change that, for the concept of epigenome and, cell regeneration, right? So, this is what we're doing here. Now, on the next page of the homework, okay, so knowing where you have problem, like, I cannot lose weight, or I cannot sleep, or I have toxicity, right? So, because I mean, there was a question that shows you what are the areas that you get cellular inflammation, okay? Or you crave sugary foods, or, carbs, or, maybe, and what it means that you crave sugary foods or carb. And anyone know what it means when you crave sugary foods or carbs? Do you guys mean do you know what it means?
Please tell us, because I know I don't know.
Okay, it means that you have a sugar spikes. Okay, you have sugar spikes, so your sugar is unbalanced. Okay, and when you get sugar spikes, yeah, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, and when you have sugar spikes, it basically means that you are aging faster. Okay, because there is a process that called glycation. So when you get all those ups and downs, right? So you go through the glycation. So we need to balance our sugar spikes. We need to balance that. And there's, many tools that can help you to do that. So again, I mean, you need to work on balancing your sugar spikes. Okay. Yeah, Chrissy Cruz, not easy to get. I mean, sugar spikes, again, they affect everything, right? So because, there are, like the sugar molecules that actually touches the healthy molecule, and then the healthy molecule get oxidized. And again, I mean, you're getting through the cellular inflammation and reintroduce, unhealthy cells. So you need to make sure that, your sugar spikes are flattened. Okay. Again, so that gives you the issue here. If you know that you're not eating right food. So again, I mean, that's a kind of the problem identity for you. This is something that you're going to work on. And what it means, this homework, is that, you're going to basically create an action plan for each of the problem that you uncovered. So what's going to be your action plan? So for instance, if you know that you're not eating good, so what are you going to do? With what you know today, with like, and each day that you're going through the challenge, you're going to uncover more, right? So what's going to be your action plan? What are you going to change? Is it clear, guys? I mean, like, what are we trying to do here? Yeah. Is there any shares and reflections that who wants to, talk about, I mean, what they're, where they might possibly have a, cellular inflammation, cellular damage, what is a related problem, and how they're going to tackle the problem. Because I mean, tomorrow you're going to start tackling that. You're going to start changing your life, because we're creating small things. Make sense? Who wants to share? Anyone?
So one question I was going to ask you, Angelina, about the question that you just asked, when you chose to tackle the things that you were managing, right, needing to tackle your inflammation and your autoimmune and liver and all that things, was there something in your thought process or brain or life that you all of a sudden were like, huh, I'm just doing this and I'm starting tomorrow, no matter what? Like, was there something that hit you versus, oh, I'm going to start next week, or I'm going to start in 2 weeks. So I'm going to start after my vacation. I'm going to start after Christmas, which is an easy thing for all of us human beings to do. Was there one thing from a discipline perspective that you just said, it's my health, it's my wellness, it's my life, I'm just doing it?
What do you think, Holly, is the one major thing for you to start today? Let me just put this question back to you, and then
Yep. The one thing today is, like we've talked about, I just have to do it, kind of like Nike, just do it and just choose and be disciplined and just choose that tomorrow morning I'm just doing it, and I'm not looking back. Because I think, as I've said, maybe on the call yesterday, or I've said to you before, my future self, I know, is going to thank me.
Yes. And this is your big why. This is your big why, Holly. That's exactly what we're building here. You need to identify, you need to realize what is your big why behind it. Because when we don't have the answer to that question, why you're doing that. And again, I mean, like, why people go to gyms on January 1st and they quit in 15 days? Because they just want to lose weight. That's it. And that's not enough for them of purpose to go and do that. They need to.
It's not an ultimate purpose. It's just more like it's January.
It's just the thing that they want to change, but what stands behind this? So what is a big why behind it? And once you understand, and this is going back to the intention, like being intentional. So what is your intention behind it? Why are you doing it? And actually creating this intentional, creating this identity. You remember how we went from, being intentional to creating the identity, that who you want to become, and embody that, and then understanding, your big why. And and tomorrow actually putting the plan and doing that tomorrow, because first 5 things that we took yesterday, and, the first thing and the fifth, so that was about, like your intention, and then building the grid, right? So you're going to do it no matter what, and having an action plan, and actually doing this every single day, no matter what, right? Keeping your eyes on the outcome, knowing why it's important for you, because if it's not your goal. You're not going to do that. You need to understand what is your big why behind it. Is it helpful, Holly?
Thank you very, very much. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Who else want to share? I mean, we just basically identify those areas that you might have the cellular inflammation, right? So, and maybe, the food, it might be, like controlling your blood glucose spike, maybe the sleep better, whatever is that for you that you detected during the test. So what are the things, what's going to be the action plan for you to start tackling? So choose like the most important thing for you that, you're gonna choose right now based on the test, on the quiz that you just did. Who wants to share? And who wants to, to walk us through your steps that you're going to take tomorrow in order to start tackling this issue? Because again, small steps, that's what's going to create the big, big move in your life.
Well, I'm a bit confused about this one because I don't know the steps that I can take to tackle sleep issue.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have issues with sugar spikes only because I solved the problem with my diet 2 years ago and it changed my life. But I do have issues with sleep and I have no idea where to start.
Gotcha. Yeah. Awesome question. Awesome question. All right. Is there anything that you've tried or that can help your sleep? Is there anything, any idea, or how you can get a hold of your sleep? Is there anything that you know?
I tried a hot shower before sleep.
Okay.
I tried contrast shower before sleep.
Mm.
I tried taking melatonin at the middle of the night. I tried drinking some herbal tea before sleep. Nothing works. It's not that I have problem with falling asleep. It's just I'm waking up at weird time, 3 to 4 a.m. and I cannot fall back asleep.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. So one of the problem that you might have here is, again, I mean, it could actually show to the several problems. I mean, again, I mean, like unregulated hormones, right? So because of the cellular toxicity. So, and again, I mean, as we go tomorrow, you will learn how to start taking care of your cells. So you start, lowering your cellular inflammation and, lowering your cellular, toxicity, right? So, I mean, you can get the cells well. So that's one of it. But the second one is, your unregulated nervous system, right? So again, I mean, like I've seen your answers, and you've put that you have stress in your life, right?
Of
Yeah.
course, a lot at work.
Yes, yes. So upregulating your nervous system, and that's the major lifestyle point that you can start tackling. Okay. And again, there is a lot of modalities, that can help you. What you shared with us about the contrast shower, this is actually what I suggest to do in the morning, because that's going to uplift, that's going to change your state, your physical state, because you are upregulating your temperature. When you start upregulating your temperature with a contrast showers, right? So you're basically gonna start helping produce your energy hormones, like like a dopamine, right? So in the morning, this is what we need, like cortisol. We need those hormones in the morning. So in the evening, you need something, like a nervous system upregulating. So like a good meditation. This is one of the things that that can help you to like warm bath. That's another thing that that you can help. And your your evening routine is so important. Holly knows that. Holly, can you share with us like how, so Holly, do you mind if I share about a little bit about the first day of our VIP day? Do you mind?
Please,
Okay.
please.
So Holly attended my VIP days, and 3 VIP days, and in the first day, and Holly flew from from San Francisco to Reno, and she had a very Holly, tell your story. I mean, how you felt when you got to Reno, how you were stressed out, from all the activities that you have in your golf competition, right? And how you couldn't sleep, and what created. Can you just share your story with the team? So I'm not telling your story. This is your story.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I was about to mention what transformed me in terms of the sleep situation. So when I got to Angelina, I was recognizing, I think I got to the point that I was recognizing that I needed a redo in life, like a reset. And to do that in person is, amazing. And so I recognized that what Angelina had shared with me and taught me was the bookmark of the day of having a morning routine and a night routine made me sleep better. It made me, because you mentioned the cold showers, which are awesome and they help reset you. But I think the morning time to do it is better than the nighttime routine, because then nighttime you want to be maybe more like an Epsom salt bath or something like that. What Angelina taught me, which was life-changing, and as long as I continue to implement it, is to have a daily routine, to have a plan, irregardless of what comes up, of your nutrition, your meal planning, and all those things. And how your morning starts is what Angelina taught me, is how your day builds. And if you start with, say, the Tony Robbins Prime, and or just meditating, or shower, or getting your day going, but then that's the other bookmark of the end of the day. Because if you at the end of the day make time, whether it's before dinner or after dinner, to set yourself up for the next day for success, then both of them work. Because they actually, what I realized anyways, personally, one doesn't work well without the other. And so that's what I've realized, where I have been more successful in, first of all, how I feel. And secondly, I think my health and wellness is, getting better and stronger. It's, helping move into, my kids and husband, my family. But it's committing to what Angelina's talking about and doing it on both ends of the day. And that's why I keep using the word bookmark the day. Because then you start your day irregardless of the stress that comes up there, how busy work can get, or how busy your kids can get, or how busy everything gets, which all of us have in our lives. But if you start with you and a disciplined program, your day, no matter what it's going to hand you that you weren't expecting, even, or what you were expecting, you're going to get through it easier. You're going to be less stressed, and you're going to sleep better, especially the nighttime routine. Since Ruscana was talking about the sleep, but if you could have the nighttime routine so that you go to bed well, because, you know, your main points, Angelina, right? Stress, sleep, nutrition, all of these things, they help if you can actually be disciplined and control your life versus letting your life control you.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah. You know, to be disciplined, to control you. So you are basically building, you know, building the, so not taking, you know, the life is taking it, you know, from you. So you are the orchestrator. So you are designer of
Yes.
life.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
And again, I mean, what Holly just uncovered for us. So it's everything is matters. It's your nutrition, it's your stress management, upregulating your, you know, regulating your nervous system, right? So everything matters in regulating your circadian rhythm, because sleep is your regulating your circadian rate. So there is a, you know, all those modalities. Again, I mean, we're gonna go over, you know, specific things that you will need to do today, but you know, they all go to the basics of the modalities that you can use to start fixing yourselves, and you know, that will, you know, start solving the problem. Because again, the lifestyle, I mean, this is the lifestyle influence your epigenome, and you're start rebuilding and regenerating yourself. And as you know, as Holly just shared with us, so like having a morning routine, having an evening routine, your morning routine is going to upregulate your circadian rhythm at night. Because if you're going to start, you know, looking at the sun first thing in the morning, so when you wake up, and it's you know, it's during the sunrise, so you're going to fall asleep. So you start to produce your melatonin in the evening time. And again, I mean, when doctor comes, and I just wrote for myself that question about melatonin, because a lot of people ask that. But if you start taking the supplementation of the melatonin, it can completely throw off your hormones. So, I mean, you know, several times to do it, like, you know, when you have emergency, that's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. But in the long run, I mean, if you wanted to solve your sleep problem, I mean, there is, you know, like other modalities and other supplementation, and, you know, the nutrition that, you know, that you need to take care of in order to regulate your sleep. Is it helpful, Roxana? I mean, like,
It is. It is. I should say that I do try to implement like morning routine. So I actually, in the last few weeks, I generally start my morning with some affirmations and gratitude or meditations whenever I have time. So it does help. But it's a good point about establishing some night routine before sleep, because that's something that like hard for me to organize. I have two little kids. So once I put them to bed, it's like I just fall asleep immediately. I'm so exhausted, and they sleep till like 9:30, and I have to wake up at 7. So it's a struggle. I always get like the least amount of sleep in the house. But yeah, it's interesting point, especially about like not misusing melatonin, because yeah, oh, yeah, 4 small kids. Oh my God, I would become crazy.
yeah.
It's that
How old are your kids?
2.5 and 5.
Oh, you got little ones too.
Yeah.
That's an interesting age. Yes, when, you know, give
just
yourself
like,
all the, yeah.
yeah, just like Christy. One thing that I mentioned on the phone yesterday, I don't know if you're on the phone, but once I started like doing my kids are older. I've got one just graduated from college, one in college. So we're in a little different place. However, when they were little, what I noticed when I started, and it carried through to their adulthood, when I started doing what I needed to do with them, for them, on the side of them, etc., they paid attention, and they recognized, oh, mom needs her time right now, or mom needs to get us to bed so she can do her evening routine, or she can, you know, do this and that. And they, you know, the good thing about little kids, especially, is that they are so like spongeable. Like they could copy whatever you do or think about whatever you do and pay attention to it. And then it becomes kind of part of their world. Where for a long time when my boys were little, I was like, oh, I need to do this. I need to do this. I'm not saying this is you. This just was me for a while until I changed it. And it's made them, I mean, now as adults, you know, as I said, I mean, I've got a 19-year-old and 22-year-old, and they're like, hey, mom, did you do your evening routine tonight? I'm like, and if I say yes, I feel really good about it. And I say, darn it, no. They're like, why? Why didn't you? Like, what got in your way? So anyways, with young kids especially, I think it's nice for them to see you modeling how you want to live and how you want them to live later on.
Yes, yes, Holly. And this is, I mean, oh, yes, let's give it up for Holly, because this is the major point that we covered yesterday, right? So how we build our health legacy within our families, right? So influencing our kids, to live the same lifestyle that we live, right? So we can build with them, you know, the meaning of health and what's important, because again, I mean, like they adopt, you know, like our genes, but it's like 10% and everything else is the lifestyle, right? So we talked about that yesterday. So again, I mean, influencing. So what do we do now? I mean, we're breaking the cycle of actually you know, like a breaking the cycle of, you know, not having the health as, you know, kind of the family tree. Now you're breaking the cycle and you become the person that changes your, you know, family history, right? So I mean, this is powerful. This is so powerful. And there is a one guy that I bring him, you know, often. I don't know if you guys heard of him. His name is Brian Johnson. He's the guy, I don't know if you heard of him, you can Google him up, but he was the ex-CEO of Venma. So he spent a lot of time in a corporate America, you know, building this product. So, and he was the CEO of other products. So, he got himself so stressed out. And if you see the pictures of him, like when he was still in the role of the CEO of the big, you know, company, and then he stepped out of that role, and he actually invested in himself, and he started to develop the strategies, you know, how to his logo, don't die. So he talks and he promotes, you know, the longevity. So he talks about, and this is what I mean, we're also doing here. We are talking about longevity. So what are the natural things that help us to delay aging, that help us to prolong our life, right? So I mean, this is all related. So why I'm bringing this guy is because, and what he actually did, he hired a team of scientists and doctors, holistic doctors, and other people who live with him. You know, like they bring him into his house. He built the studio in his house, and he's going through the lifestyle, and he is actually monitoring every step of his way. And he proved that he actually reversed his epigenetic age by 20 years old. Okay. So this is just fascinating what he did. And why I'm bringing him up is because he's just the guy that shows the world, and all his research and all his, you know, his stuff is in public. So you just can see he's a proof of the saying that, you know, we can change our destiny. So, and this is what he does. So he is changing his lifestyle. You know, he is taking the right supplementation. So he's eating right. So he is fixing his cell, and his cells are regenerating. And some modalities are crazy, right? So like, but I mean, but that gives us information, so we can be more intentional about, you know, how we do things. So that's the only reason that I bring this guy, is because I mean, to me, he is like a role model. It's not like, you know, I will be like him, because he does a lot of crazy stuff that I just don't have time and in my life to do. But he shows us that this is possible. He shows us that this is possible. All right.
That's
So
phenomenal, Angelina.
what I guys want to encourage you of getting into tomorrow. So continue practicing your first day commitments, as we all talked about them today. And for the second day is whatever you've detected that is not going well with your house based on this assessment. So what are the things that you can start changing in your life tomorrow, tonight, actually? For Roxana, it's going to be tonight. What you can do tonight, Roxana, to start, practicing, your evening routine, maybe, not be exposed to the, computer screen, right? Because it's going to help you with regulating your nervous system, things like that. So I want you guys to put 2 things that you can do, that you can start changing today on top of what we built yesterday. All right. Another thing that I encourage you to do is go to Facebook group and share what was the takeaway, the major takeaway from today, your VIP group, so you can move other people so they can be influenced by your changes in your life. So what is the biggest takeaway for you today? Just go to Facebook group, push the, record button. You can comment, but if you're just going to share and show up and share, with the world, what you did and how it's going to help you. So what are the things that, you're going to do tomorrow morning? What's going to think that you're going to do tonight to start changing your health?
And Angelina, you mind if I give a little bit of a suggestion?
Absolutely. Go, Jared.
Okay. So my wife and I have 3 little ones, a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an 8-year-old. And one thing that we were always told and have always been told is what you are doing is impossible. Now, what are we doing? We put our children on routines. They said, you can't put a kid on a schedule. I said, watch me. And my wife has made it happen over and over and over again. So when the children are on a routine, that means you have one too. It also leaves room for you to be able to be you and do you. But if there's no consistency, then the children are going to have a hard time being consistent themselves. One of the things that have actually benefited my family immensely is the fact that when we talk about being intentional, I call it being the if. I'm a father, so IF, intentional father, having an intentional family, and then also having intentional friendships. These are the 3 relationships that'll make or break your life. So being the if is being the condition that must be met in order for a specific purpose to be fulfilled. One thing that you can do to help yourself stay accountable to you, as also your children, to stay accountable, is create alarms. And I'm not talking about just setting a regular alarm. Many people have iPhones. You can do it on an Android as well, but you could actually utilize your phone to create an actual custom alarm telling you what to do. Because if you're not going to listen to anybody, please listen to you. So you can actually go through and create a custom alarm with your voice telling you what to do at the time you need to do it, holding yourself accountable. So when you hear you, it's not as easy to
Oh,
snooze.
oh,
Yeah.
this is so
So
good.
that's
This is so
a
good.
piece.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try that
And
too.
that works over here. Now, children are chaotic, so they're going to do what they're going to do, especially at 2. However, guiding them in the right direction through a lane, an arena of consistency with routines, as long as you got yourself together, they'll follow suit to a certain extent. But
Mm.
you definitely got to be intentional about making sure that the voice that you hear is yours and theirs, they hear your voice too, and that you respect your voice and that they do the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jared, that is so cool. I tried to do that with my boys when they were little. I don't want to use the word try, but I did. And it was so helpful, I think, to their life today as adults, now that all of your kids are going to, will become adults, because many of you have littles. And it's really interesting thinking about goals and evening routine and morning routine and evening routine. Our oldest son, Jimmy, just graduated from college, as I mentioned to y'all a couple weeks ago, and he just started first real job. And it was actually kind of cute. They're like, he got the job he wanted, and they're like, June 3rd. He's like, did you say August 3rd? And they're like, no, Jimmy, June 3rd. Because he's like, oh, wouldn't it be great to have, a couple months of summer before you start the rest of,
Right.
and the company is very specific. Like, you're leaving every day at 5:30. We want you to live your life. There are mantras. We don't want you to work till 10 or 11. We want you to have a life and do your job while you're here all day long. And then when you leave, have your life, and we'll see you tomorrow morning to do your job. And I really appreciated that. His first day was Monday. And I appreciated that for, as a parent, but then also for him, that they're like, no, we don't want you to do any of this extra stuff. Just go. be present when you're here, and then go have your life. Anyways, I just wanted what you were saying about, you know, raising kids and what you can and can't do, or what they, and, you know, because it's all so unpredictable. Anyways, I just wanted to share that I think I'm really happy that his first, like, quote unquote real job is a company that feels that way, as opposed to, we need to hear from you tonight at midnight on a project.
Yeah, let's give it up for Holly. Thanks for sharing, Holly. Yeah. Christy Cruz, what's your takeaway?
I can only join because I have 4 small kids. At one point, I had 3 kids where all 3 were 0 and 2 years old.
Oh
So
boy. Yeah.
people were thinking, yeah, we were a couple, so we were 2 helping each other. But at some point, people were saying, it can't be done. It can be done. But if you're thinking about, I have to do it at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., no, no, no. Have flexible. I need to do this. If it goes a little over, that's okay. Because some, especially women, get frustrated. I was supposed to do this. My alarm clock went off. It's okay. Shift things around. So it's about taking control of what you can control. And I used a lot of taking, what can I do with my kids when I'm home? What can I do with them? I can exercise. I can draw the dishes. I can fold clothing. It's not perfect, no, but it helps them. So it's about habit, installing routines. And it was hard. I was used to everything perfect. It was, okay, small children folding. It looked like something different, but it grows on them. Even exercise, seeing them with the legs up and down. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, let's give it up for Christy Cruz. So what are we hearing here, guys? It's coming back to our discussion about building the routine, yet being flexible with that. But routines and habits, this is what, you know, helps us to build, you know, our life in the way that we can control it and we can drive it and we can orchestrate that. So this is very important. This is how the mindset works. And this is why we started this, you know, challenge with, you know, talking about the power of mindset and what the mindset, you know, how we intentional can change that and how that can move us forward. Again, you know, with building small habits and going every single day, being motivated by our intention, by our vision, by the identity that we build by our big why. So with that, I want to close our VIP session, and I'm excited for, you know, who is excited for, you know, for day 3. Give you guys all high fives, because I'm going to take a screenshot of us right now when you're giving me a high five. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow in a day 3, and it's going to be amazing. So come up and go to the Facebook group and share your takeaways. I'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.